Welcome to Penny for Your Shots, Conversations and Cocktails with Brilliant Women, the podcast where we uncork the stories and insights of exceptional female leaders from all walks of life. Our goal is to serve up wisdom, tips, and inspiration, and to support each other in rediscovering ourselves and what sets our souls on fire. We'll also share personal memories, paired with friends and a favorite beverage. I'm your host, Penny Fitzgerald, and I believe that the best stories are served up over a glass of wine or a cocktail. So grab a glass, get comfy, and let's pour ourselves into Penny for Your Shots. Jeff and I were invited by a friend to attend an open house at the Astaire dance studio in Sarasota. It was a fun evening, and we learned a lot. Not just dance steps, and Jeff is still the master of the shopping cart and sprinkler, by the way, but we also learned some of the benefits of dance. Many of the students are benefiting from the mind-body connection and keeping their brains sharp through the classes. And of course, it's a great and very fun workout. At the open house, as we were getting to know the instructors and other students, I was asked what I do, and I mentioned my podcast and that I love sharing the stories of brilliant women. Immediately, several people said, "You need to meet Tiana." So I did, and you'll see why everyone suggested chatting with her in today's conversation. Here is Tiana Ramirez. Tiana?
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Good, good, good. Happy Monday.
Happy Monday. Happy St. Patty's Day.
Oh, I forgot. I have no green on. I'm wearing blue.
You know what? I don't have any green on either.
Isn't this when we used to get pinched in school?
Yeah. Yes. Yikes.
I forgot.
Oh, well, we'll have to run out it after and grab something green and stick it on.
Yeah, like a little hat or something. Little bow hat, green beads. Mardi Gras beads.
Yes, for sure. For sure. Oh, I'm so excited to talk to you because I know so very little. I was thinking this morning, okay, I know that you're a mom. I know that you're a fantastic dancer and a very patient teacher.
That's good.
And that you're a boss lady. So.
Well, I pretend very well. No. I don't know. It's like, it was never kind of my thing to kind of go into the boss lady
to own it.
But when the opportunity came, I just kind of ran with it. And I still do consider myself at the end of the day a dance teacher. And that's what I kind of struggle with. I'm like, hey, am I a dance teacher or am I a business person?
Yes.
I do both, but where my heart lies is teaching dance.
Nice.
Yes, everything
Lovely.
You said is correct.
Okay, cool. Awesome. Okay, so let's back up for my audience because we're just meeting you. So tell us a little bit about you, like what you do, and we'll get into some more questions from that.
So I've had 2 jobs my entire life at the young age of 38. I think I'm 21 in my mind. But yes, I started as a hostess at Applebee's in Port Charlotte, Florida. And then I worked my way up to becoming a corporate trainer. So then I opened restaurants and helped anything from the front of the house to the back of the house. So that was kind of my thing through high school and through college. And then when I graduated from the University of Tampa with a film degree.
Oh, wow.
I saw an ad in the newspaper for dance instructors. And so I said, wait a minute, you get paid to dance? So I just on a whim drove up to Palm Harbor and I walked in and they said, look, all you need is desire. Do you have dance shoes in your car? And I said, yeah, I took a dance partnering class in college to just get my GPA up because, I mean, it was an easy class. We did very minimal dancing and it was more about just mixing and mingling. You know, the girls and the guy ratio was very uneven. So anyway, so I started right away in training class and then I knew that this is where I wanted to be. And that was 15 years ago. Well, no, excuse me, 17 years ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, cool. So did you love dance growing up? I mean, were you?
I loved it. I didn't understand it.
Yeah.
Wasn't fortunate enough to do it. It just wasn't in the cards for us. But I was always studying it. Even ice skating, when I would see the Olympic ice skaters and the ice dancing, I'm like, man, this is so beautiful. And always just loved music. So in my head, I was always kind of like making up dances, but I never did it within like to show.
Yeah.
So when I was able to start, in 2008, I kind of just like went full force. It was like that 5-year-old that wanted to do it came out and just went for it.
Wow, that's so cool. So if TikTok was a thing back then, you
Oh
would have
man,
been
I would have been all over TikTok doing all the dances.
That's fun. Oh my
That kept
gosh.
me going during the pandemic.
Well, right. Okay, so one I remember you okay, so for my audience, I went to your studio with my husband. We were invited and learned some steps and stuff with you guys. And I remember you saying that ballroom dance is a better workout than running or it burns more
Yeah.
calories.
Yeah, so 1 hour of ballroom dancing is equivalent to 3 miles of running. And
Wow.
it's because it's weight bearing exercise and it's not super high impact unless you want it to be. But the why it's more, it's because of the brain. So when you're stimulating, the brain. So
Mm-hmm.
my story, back it up. I taught a um triathlete once. And I remember him telling me, there's no way you're going to be able to make me sweat. And I'm like, okay, well,
Watch me.
you will be able to because of the use of the brain and trying to physically do it in your body. And, you're using all senses. You're doing the kinesthetic, the feeling, the visual, the auditorial, and then you're firing your brain at the same time, trying to tell your feet what to do, tell your arms what to do. So that's a huge side of it. And then you're using
Mm-hmm.
like muscle stabilizers that you're not used to using. And you're like, why does
Mm-hmm.
that hurt in between my pinky and my ankle? And like, it's because you're ballroom dancing.
Yeah. And core, it takes a lot of like balance. I feel like it really helped. I could feel
Absolutely.
that.
Absolutely. It's a great thing to work on just your natural gait, and the number one thing in our population in Sarasota is falling. That's one of the number
Mm,
one accidents, really. And it's just because of our gait, when we start to lose our natural ability to walk and we fall. It just happens.
mm.
So it's a huge benefit with ballroom dancing because it's constantly nothing but working on your gait.
Wow. So cool. And your posture, you have to have really good posture.
Absolutely. And that just makes it all the better. Even when I'm
Yeah.
driving, like make sure I sit up nice and
Oh my gosh. Okay, so back up a
tall.
bit and tell everyone about your studio and how you got started in that.
So Fred Astaire Sarasota is probably the second oldest studio in the US. So we have about
Really?
240, yeah, 249 studios in the US. Um, Fort Walton Beach and the Panhandle is the oldest, but we have now been here 49 years.
Oh my gosh.
And it was in the same location until a couple years ago. So it had two owners before myself and my partner. And Burma Smith was her name, and she was fantastic. She left a really big legacy in this business. And then Enrique, who now owns the Venice location, had the Sarasota studio. And when I originally started dancing, I was dancing in St. Pete at the Fred Astaire in St. Petersburg. And I met my dance partner down here. So we were commuting back and forth. And then one day he's like, why don't you just work here? And I'm like, you know what? I should. And so I did for about a year. And then we kind of, we're doing our professional dancing together. And that was going really well. And we just decided that why don't we just open a studio together? And then Enrique at the time said, why don't you take this one? And we're like, we didn't know it was an option. Well, here we go. Of course, we already know our peers. We already know all of the students. Sounds like a no-brainer. So, I will say that I did skip a lot of steps as far as starting a business because I didn't start from scratch. I kind of took over one, which, could be bad and good, but that was in 2016. And we moved our locations right after two hurricane seasons ago.
Mm.
And we've just doubled the size and doubled the love and doubled the joy.
Wow, how fun. Well, and everything here is measured in hurricane seasons.
Like, how many hurricane seasons ago was that? I'm hoping for not as good this one or not as bad this one.
Right, right. Oh my gosh. Yeah, last year was kind
It was
of
rough.
taxing on all of us.
Everybody, every other week was like, come on.
Dang. So St. Pete, you were dancing in St. Pete. Were you living up there and then moved down
Yes.
here?
Yep. So I kind of always stayed in that Tampa area since I went to
Uh-huh.
school there.
Oh,
And then I
sure.
would just commute. So the first studio I started at was in Palm Harbor. It's kind of like a little
Mm-hmm.
Dunedin area. And I was living in St. Pete. And then eventually I actually went back to Applebee's in between there for like a year. And then the St. Pete location called me and said, hey, we would really love a female teacher. And then I was like, well, here's my chance to go back.
Yeah, nice.
Yeah, that was a great learning experience too, because that was a really big, successful studio. And I had to learn really fast and kind of was thrown to the wolves. So I think that was a benefit because then I didn't really have time to think about what I was doing. I just had to do it. So
Uh-huh.
kind of came quickly.
Wow. Okay. So as a teacher, you think it was okay.
I was thrown in to teach students that were more advanced than I was. And I was like,
Oh, wow.
how can I do this? It was definitely not the normal situation, but
Uh-huh.
fortunately there was some change of um, teachers and everybody was getting mixed around a little bit. And they're like, Tiana, here's your day. And I'm like back there with my manual, like studying, okay, right foot to the side. And at this point I turn, but I went out there and I did it. I might have taught the ladies part to the men, but I did it.
Oh my gosh. Wow. Yeah, that's you'd have to learn really quickly how to do it. So I I remember at the studio, you guys were explaining with Fred Astaire, there are like, is it four different levels that you can achieve?
Yep.
It's almost like karate, right? I mean, you're
Very similar, very similar.
okay.
And as
Describe how that works.
So as teachers, we go through that same process. So we start at kind of like a beginner level. That's
Hmm.
just learning your hands and feet based. Then there's a social foundation level, which is exactly that, your foundation. And then we go into bronze, silver, and gold. And within bronze, silver, and gold, there's levels in there. So I equate it to like freshman year, sophomore year, junior year, senior year. And then
Okay.
you do the same thing now, but on now it's your residency. If we're, or medical school, then you're doing your residency. So that's kind of the progression, but it naturally progresses from the very beginning up into the highest level of social dancing. And they all build on top of each other. So very similar
Okay.
to karate, you're first learning a kick this way, and then your next level, you're learning it a little bit higher. Now you have a turn to it, but it all kind of goes back to the same base.
Okay.
And that's why, Fred Astaire in 1947, when he started Fred Astaire Dance Studios, he said great dancers aren't born, they're trained. And I
Mm.
had zero dance experience as far as technical training. I just knew what I loved.
Hmm.
And I went through the same process as we teach our students. So I think that's a huge thing too, because I'm like, hey, look, I'm living proof. If I can do it, anybody can do it. You just have to
Hmm.
go through the process.
Wow. And you didn't have to unlearn anything
Nope, because I didn't
from
have any,
before.
I didn't really have any habits.
Yeah.
When I didn't have any bad habits, when I took the dance partnering class, truly it was just an easy class to keep my GPA up.
Uh-huh.
It was very far off from filmmaking, but
Uh-huh.
kind of broke up the day. And, I met some
Yeah.
class and
Well, and I can imagine some of my audience is probably some of my people are thinking that was an easy class.
well, there was 75 kids in the class. So what could we really do other than, okay, this is how you hold on to your dance partner. This is how you move to the right 2 times. This is how you move to the left 2 times.
Uh-huh.
And I think for me too, it kind of showed me a different world of more of a chivalrous world, right?
Oh.
Or, may I have this dance? Yes, you may. May I grab your hand? Please this way. So it was very interesting because most college students aren't doing that. So now if somebody asks me to dance socially, I have a level of expectation. Like, don't just grab me. You should ask me and invite me. And I think that's something that we should all keep, just like opening the door and holding the door for people. It's just
Yeah.
something that we kind of got away from.
Very nice. Yeah, and it's not necessarily gender based because
Exactly.
yeah, I hold the door for the person behind me and
Absolutely.
yeah. Wow. Okay, cool. So I have so many questions going through
Yeah.
my head right now. Okay, so how did you transition then? So you had your Applebee's training. So you had a lot of various background and some business knowledge through the Applebee's experience, right? And then how did that translate into your dance studio? How did you, like, I keep thinking about, okay, you have the accounting piece of it, the recruiting piece of it, the marketing, all of that. How did you grasp that, or how did you transition into that?
So the great thing about Fred Astaire being a franchise is we do have access to a home office, and we have access to a fantastic team that if for any time, any reason that I'm struggling, I just pick up the phone and they can walk me through something. But I will say, you know, the cheers where everybody knows your name.
Yeah.
So that was kind of been my motto from the beginning. So when I was working in the service industry, I would have your drink, your food already ordered the minute you were walking in the door because I had such a large regular base.
Uh-huh.
And I kind of said to myself, well, what's the difference? I'm providing a service. It's not a food service, but I'm providing a service. And at the end of the day, I'm building a relationship with everybody
Oh.
that I truly
Hmm.
care about and that they've trusted me out of all people to teach them how to dance. So I kind of just take it back to that. You want to go where everybody knows your name. So it's simple as, focusing more on the greeting to everybody and how was your day and checking in all the time. And yeah, it's about the dancing too, but there's so much more to it. Um,
Wow.
but as far as like the counting and all the recruiting stuff, we have a great team that helps. But I do think that it kind of just comes with your next step. You're like, well, here, strap in and let's go. If I mess it up, I mess it up. I'll have hopefully some help to fix it. Or not
Yeah.
mess it up
Wow.
too long.
Yeah. Right. Yeah. If you notice you're messing up, then maybe, yeah, now it's
But
time to make one of the calls.
the brake is on the left,
Yeah.
not on the right.
Wow. So much to learn, right?
Yeah, it was definitely a transition. Like I say, I still kind of think of myself as I'll forever be a dance instructor, and I don't think that's bad.
No,
You know, I don't
absolutely.
I don't know if a multi-studio owner is in my makeup. I don't know if being a board member or a member of corporate is in there. Maybe if it happens, it happens, but it would happen organically. I don't want it to be something that's forced because
Hmm.
there's nothing better than being able to change people's lives through dancing.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, it's been pretty cool. I mean, I've had students find love here. I've had students um refine themselves. Um, the stories are just kind of endless. The health benefits, we have had students walk in on a cane and then, 6 months later, they're off all their blood pressure medication. They're not using their cane anymore. They've dropped 30
No.
pounds. And that's why I'm curious. I wonder if this could be like a prescribed form of medication.
Oh, well, wouldn't that be great if we focused on getting healthy instead of medicating?
Healing from the inside out instead of the out.
Exactly. Exactly. Well, and I know some of my friends who are beyond 65 have the Medicare where you get, I think it's called silver sneakers,
Oh,
where they get memberships to gyms at a very discounted rate, and it is for their benefit, their health. They stay healthier
absolutely.
because they're working out. So I would think in what you're doing is really well. I know some of your students. That's how I came to you, is through some of your students that they a big reason they started was to for brain health, to keep their minds sharp and to maybe re-stimulate some of those neural pathways that are a little bit clogged.
Well, I mean, it's a scientific fact that ballroom dancing builds new neural pathways.
Wow.
Builds, maybe not the right word, creates or helps
Yeah.
produces
Yeah.
new neural pathways.
Wow.
I mean, it was a few years ago, we had a gentleman student that was a research patient at John Hopkins in Pennsylvania, or excuse me, Maryland.
Hmm.
And they told him, what are you doing? Because your brain is sharp as can be. And he was in his 90s. He said, I ballroom dance. And they're like, do not stop. It's, I don't want to say it's a number one thing that could help fight dementia, but I mean, if you look at it, it's creating new neural pathways, and those are the things
Yeah.
that go away. So, I get Sudoku and, crossword
Yeah.
puzzles, but man, let's put the physicality part to it as well. That doesn't
Right.
have to be, Dancing with the Stars. It can be for any season of life. That's why I love it. Like my 6-year-old, she's kicking butt doing ballroom dancing, but I want her to kick butt when she's, 106. I want her to be able to still do this at any level, at any season of life. And that's
Hmm.
something truly special, because some people say, oh, I started too late. No, you didn't. You start anytime.
Anytime. Yep.
You may have different goals, but don't we
Hmm.
all at any point in life?
Right.
Yeah.
Right, for sure. Yeah, that's another thing too. I feel like I hear a lot is, well, I'm too old to do this, or I'm too old to do that. And no. Or it's too late to start something new. It's too late to start a new business. It's too late to learn how to do something. It's too late to start working out. Oh no.
I
Just
know,
start
right?
at a different level. Yeah.
Yeah, different level. And your goal may get to where you wanted it to be, but you won't know unless you started. Or
Right.
you're,
Right.
like, you don't know what you see as what your end result should be, or where you should be doing this, if that makes sense.
Hmm. Yeah.
Can't get there unless you start. Show up and start. No, show up and
Right.
start. So
That's so true. Of anything.
of anything, yeah, even not
Hmm.
just ballroom dancing, but anything. But
Yeah.
it's tricky too with all of our options. We have so many options nowadays. We have access to access to so much information, and it's like, well, maybe that's a overload too. But
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, there's a limited amount of time for
absolutely,
everyone. Even the retirees that I know and are friends with and work with, they're going, going, going.
so busy, so busy. They open up their day calendars and I'm like, oh my gosh, what is in there?
I
I'm
know.
like,
I
I'm
asked
tired.
I asked one of my friends the other day, I said, "Do you have any time blocked off for laundry?" For I mean, just the day to day. And she goes, no.
Yeah.
She's running herself ragged, but um,
Well, crazy. You
yeah.
think we have more time, but
Yep.
we fill it rather quickly.
Yes, for sure. Lunches here and meetings there, and yeah, whatever. A lot of pickleball down here.
A lot of pickleball, but we can add in ballroom dancing.
That's right. I mean, it's two different things, and they're both super
A lot of,
fun.
it was funny. We had a lot of pickleball players starting to come in ballroom dance too.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's funny to say that. It was the start of last year. We had quite a few. It was like a group of ladies. I don't know if they all knew each other, but they were like, why can't we all play pickleball? We just wanted to try something different. And I'm like, yeah, let's do
Okay. Oh gosh. Okay. So what would you say to someone who maybe they liked to go out as a kid, as um a younger person, maybe in college they like to dance at the clubs or wherever. But they haven't for a while, like they've, gone on with life. What would you say to them, like, for if they're feeling a little nervous about starting ballroom?
There is nothing better than being in a gentleman's arms who knows how to make you feel like a lady.
Wow.
There is nothing better. And it's more than just, like I said before, grabbing and just, there's something about it's funny. Argentine tango was originally two men dancing together, and they were fighting over a woman, basically.
Oh.
So that's where some of the moves kind of come from. But then when it was switched to being more, male female, um, the ladies were more trying to call the gentlemen in when they were sailing home. So they would kind of be at the docks and they would be like, doing their moves and things. There's obviously that masculine femininity that always is going to be there, whether it's same sex or not, it doesn't really matter, but there's always going to be a masculine feminine role. And this is a true time when a lady can be fully in her feminine. And this is
Hmm.
a true time when a gentleman can be fully in his masculine. And it's when you're partner dancing. It doesn't necessarily have to be ballroom dancing because there's so much more than it's partner dancing. Two people dancing as one. And
Wow.
it's not that, he's always talking and I'm always listening. No, sometimes I'm talking as the partner and he's listening. So it's a true kind of, I don't know, there's just nothing better than that feeling. And I tell all of my gentlemen, you know how much power you have? You know how much power you have?
Use it wisely.
To use wisely. And there must be, I can't say from a gentleman's perspective, but being able to lead, because I have to know the leading part, it's kind of cool when I'm in my masculine and I'm able to see someone fully in their feminine. I'm like, this is amazing. Because I think that's just, it's in our makeup. I mean, look, I love my daughter. She is my best friend. She is my mini me. I will do anything for her. But my son, there's just something different about him. And I think it's the whole, because he's a boy and we have those,
Yeah.
it's the masculine feminine. It's not that I have a crush on him, but I just love that little boy. It's like a little mom crush.
Oh.
With my daughter, it's we share obviously the same energies. We kind of want the same things because that's just how
Uh-huh.
we're made up.
Hmm.
So maybe
Interesting.
that sounds a little cuckoo, but
No, that's I think you're gonna hit home with a lot of moms.
it's just to truly, be in your feminine in that moment and to
Well,
be
and I'm sorry to be
okay.
I was it just reminded me of a communication, like you're having a chat or a discussion with someone you love, that you're giving and taking and listening and talking, like you're giving and taking.
You nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. Absolutely nailed it. It is nonverbal communication.
Hmm.
We say that ballroom dancing is like public speaking without using words.
Yeah.
You're
Yeah.
speaking with your body.
Uh-huh. Yeah, well, and I said with someone you love, but when you're ballroom dancing, it's not necessarily someone, it could just be your dance instructor or your,
Right. Or
you know,
somebody who shares a love for dance with you.
yes.
So sometimes just that bond together, that little connection together, I mean, we're sharing something that we both enjoy. And
Yeah.
music, there's obviously tons of studies about what music does and how it heals people
Yes.
inside out. And then
Hmm.
when you apply the movement to the music and you're moving as one, oof, I could watch it all day.
It's
I
so
can't
beautiful.
can't dance it all day, but you know, I've been able to be I've been able to dance all around the world, and one of the highlights was dancing in the oh my gosh, I'm blanking. It's in
Mm.
Blackpool, the Empress Ballroom, but I can't think of the name of the venue. Oh, the Winter Gardens, excuse me, the Winter Gardens in
Oh,
Blackpool, England. And Blackpool, England is not the best place to go.
oh, okay.
Reminds me of like a super
A
rundown,
black pool.
yeah, yeah, super rundown Vegas,
Okay.
but
Oh,
um, it's a little scary. You don't go out by yourself at night.
mm.
But that is where ballroom dancing was conceived. And
Really?
the most beautiful, beautiful dances I've ever seen. Like I just to watch 400 couples doing a waltz,
Oh, wow.
it brings tears to your eyes, goosebumps
Hmm.
to your body. You just start to invoke some of those feelings that you think that they're having. And that's what I think is really cool too, is we can kind of connect
Hmm.
with different, maybe even traumas. Who knows?
Hmm. Yeah, I can see that. Like you mentioned ice dancing earlier. I love watching ice dance too. It's just so graceful.
So beautiful.
Yeah. And when the couple is really in sync, and like in the Olympics, when you watch it in the Winter Olympics, it's just so moving when the music is just perfect and they're moving with the music, and in it's just this emotional story that they're telling.
Absolutely. And then sometimes that story can hit home directly to you.
Hmm.
And at the end of the
Hmm.
day, I feel like that's kind of my thing is I want, even if I wasn't in the Fred Astaire world and I was still dancing, I want what ballroom dancing does for me to do for everybody else.
Mm,
I want
nice.
I want that feeling for everybody
Hmm.
because, you can be anybody you want to be when you're dancing. You don't have to wear a shield. You don't have to do anything. You can let it all out.
Mm. Wow. Yeah, I can see where that would be very powerful.
It's huge. It's huge.
Yeah.
I've seen couples come together. I've seen people come back together. I've seen friendships and bonds that have formed in this studio. So it's really cool to see it go beyond just learning how to dance, because you can learn how to dance on YouTube, but you don't have that personal one-on-one and that touch,
Hmm.
that is so important. Kind of funny, there was a TED Talks I listened to that said in the Middle East, they would teach, I don't know exactly where it was, but they would teach kids that were kind of raised to, maybe from two different parts of the Middle East, not necessarily get along very well, that they would partner them up to dance. Because through the power of dance and touch, all of their prejudices and everything that they were taught went
Oh,
away.
wow.
Went away. Went away for a minute, and maybe they separated and they kind of snapped back to it. But there's something with the power, obviously, of touch, and then
Uh-huh.
to move together. So it's
Right.
fascinating. It just doesn't stop, like some of the benefits behind dancing,
Yeah.
partner
Well, I
dancing.
just feel like some of the prejudices and the preconceived notions that we have of someone else, it's because we don't know that someone else.
Yeah.
We don't know what their struggles are. We don't know what they're thinking, what they're feeling, how they were raised, all of that. And when you get to know someone that's different than you, suddenly they're not that different.
No, which is fantastic.
Yeah, and especially yeah, I can see with touch, especially it's really hard to be angry with someone when you're touching
Yeah, you're in my personal space.
them.
Well, we've broken a barrier.
Yeah.
Which
Wow.
that's why we always say too, and I'm really big on that. And just going back to the whole chivalry thing behind partnership dancing, before I would put my hands on anybody, I ask for permission, and
Oh, yeah.
sometimes see the nerves, but the
Yeah.
minute you kind of do that, they just kind of like their shoulders release a little bit more, and they feel like, okay, you're here to help me, not against me.
Right. Right. You're not going to make fun of me when I step the wrong direction.
Look, I've stepped every direction but the right way.
Oh gosh. Okay. So do you do competitions too, right? Like you take your
Yeah.
students into other competitions. How does that work?
So if you wanted to, you could compete in ballroom dancing every weekend. There's
Wow.
somewhere in the US that is holding a ballroom dance event or a competition. So I like to say, like, if you're taking tennis lessons and you never play in a match, how do you know how good you are? Okay, maybe it's not about being how good you are, but what's kind of the end result for taking tennis lessons or golf lessons is to kind of do a tournament or a match. Now, it doesn't have to be a competition with ballroom dancing. You could do a show, or you could do um, even pushing yourself to that highest level of learning.
Hmm.
Your social dancing becomes like no brainer,
Mm.
because you've trained at the highest level. So then to be able to say, okay, I'm just going to do this socially and for fun, which it always is there too, that becomes way easier, and it becomes more natural than trying to start with doing that.
Mm.
So I know it sounds a little backwards, but it's something that we offer within the studio, and I know most ballroom studios do the same thing. And it's just kind of like icing on the cake. There's another option within your dancing. If your goal is to only go out and dance at Madison's on a Friday night, then you're going to get that goal here. If your goal is to become a United States champion and you give us the chance, you're going to get that goal here.
Wow.
And if your goal is just to go out and meet people and feel more confident about yourself because you can through not speaking and moving, you're going to get that here.
Mm.
So we offer a little bit of everything. The competition side of it, some people really do dive into it. They like the performing, they like the dresses, they like the idea, the challenge. People that come
Hmm.
with more of a sports background, a lot of times are gravitating towards that journey. And that's the most
Yeah.
beautiful thing. Everybody's dance journey is different. we may cross paths at some point
Mm-hmm.
and say, this really isn't for me, but hey, you don't know if you like escargot unless you try it.
That's
So
right.
don't tell me you don't like it because you haven't tried it.
Don't look at it and then turn up your nose because yeah,
Like, come on,
it's
that doesn't seem so good. So
wow.
yeah, there's, like I said, every weekend you could go out and ballroom dance, which is really cool if you wanted
That
to
is neat.
on the competitive level.
Wow.
Never
It can,
like, go ahead, sorry.
I'm sorry, I was just going to ask, can someone from the general public just go watch some of these things?
Absolutely. And sometimes that's what will spark somebody's full interest too,
Mm-hmm.
is seeing it at that level. And I say at that level, it's not like it's the end all be all. You could partnership dance for 2 months and go into an event and compete because
Yep.
you'll always be your
Uh-huh.
dance level. It's all broken down that way. So it's not like
Oh.
okay, you're going to be here I am 38 competing against the juniors, the 12-year-olds. It doesn't work that way. So it's all separated by age and level,
Okay.
just like in any other competitive sport.
Uh-huh.
Um, it's just separated that way. So yeah, the general public, absolutely. The more the merrier because dancers feed off of energy. So the more people that are watching,
Oh, cool.
they feed off of.
Nice. It's like a performance.
Oh, always, always, absolutely.
Nice. Okay. So how would someone learn about, like what's happening, the events that are happening so they could go check it out?
Absolutely. So our Facebook page, Fad Sarasota, same thing at our Instagram at Fad Sarasota. We try to be really good at getting all that out there. Our website too, fredAstaire.com/Sarasota. We'll give a rundown of some of our events. I wonder if there's like a way to kind of get more in the newspapers and let people know because we're hosting an event in August at the Ritz.
Oh,
And then
wow.
another really big event at the Van Wezel
Oh, wow.
in
Those are big
October.
venues.
So yeah, it's I mean, who can say that they dance on the same stage as Justin Timberlake if he came into town? Which is
That's
really
pretty
cool
fun.
too. It's pretty
Yeah.
cool. So yeah, any one of our social media outlets or just a regular good old website works too.
Yeah. Okay, cool. Well, and I'll put those links in my show notes so people can find you easier and in the newsletter that I send out. So, but FAD is just Fred Astaire Dance, right? The first
Yep,
letters of
yeah,
that.
yep,
Okay.
yep. I think it's
Okay.
FAT. So Fred Astaire Dance Studios.
Okay. Cool. Wow, that's really exciting. I think just all the benefits that you get from dancing and from the social part of it too is just really cool. The night that Jeff and I went, there were a lot of new people who were just checking it out, and some dancers that have been at your studio for a while, and you could just see the ones who have been dancing for a while, they just light up about it. They love it. It it's something fun for them to do together as a couple, and then some were there as singles. You don't have to
Absolutely.
be a couple, right?
Nope. We have very qualified instructors that will partner with any singles. And then additionally, we'll partner with the couples. So you're never alone. You're never kind of coming in here dancing by yourself.
Yeah. Yep.
So,
That was very helpful.
we have a lot, excuse me, we have a lot of couples who take lessons separately too, or it's more for the lady, or sometimes it's more for the gentleman.
Hmm.
So we always have partners for everybody, which is great.
Nice. Yeah, that's very cool. Okay, so Tiana,
Yes.
I always bring around my podcast at the end to ask something fun. Well, we've been talking about a lot of fun things already, but this is different. So, what's your favorite cocktail or glass of wine? What do you like to
I
drink?
am a sangria girl all the
Oh,
way.
sangria.
All the way. White, red, rosé, it don't matter. And I
Wow.
make my own sangria.
Okay, can you share your recipe or is it a family secret?
Well, it's not like it changes every time I do it. So I think a staple for me is always Grand Marnier,
Yep.
cinnamon. I like a little bit of like cran and grape juice.
Mm-hmm.
And then from there, I'll probably use like some flavor liqueurs. It depends if I'm going more blackberry, then I'll go with a blackberry liqueur. If I'm going more apple, then I'll go with like an apple liqueur.
Ooh.
And then I would say my base alcohol that jumps too. Sometimes it's vodka, sometimes it's rum, but I always use Grand Marnier and I let it sit for like a day. a ton of fruit.
Mm-hmm.
And you just eat the fruit and you're like, whoa, this is great. But yeah, sangria all the way.
Oh, yummy.
So I think
That
it's
sounds delicious.
hot, and I think it's good when it's cold outside. When it's hot outside,
Right?
cold outside, it just fits everything.
It does fit. It's very versatile,
Mhm.
very refreshing, fits with tango.
It does. Absolutely.
Oh, I love it. Okay, so what's a favorite memory sipping sangria with some friends?
Mm. Probably when we did a swap party and we were like a swap party, like we had to swap the genders and we were superheroes. So like I was Captain America and then like my significant other at the time was Wonder Woman.
Oh,
And we had a big sangria party. It just I don't know, you just said it and it came to my mind.
oh gosh, that's fun. So I wasn't sure where you were going with that.
I know when I first said it, I was like, wow, this isn't right. So let
Let
me
me
go back.
explain.
Yeah, it was just fun. We were all different superheroes and we just switched out the gender of the superhero.
Oh, fun. So was this like for Halloween?
No, it was probably just because it was Friday.
Just because. Okay. I like that.
And
Just
it was
just
about a
have a party.
Gatorade giant size thing of sangria with a big stir in it.
Yeah, yeah. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, that was good. That
How
was fun.
fun. Oh, wow. Okay. Do you have any pictures from that?
I don't actually, you
Oh,
know what? I think there would be on MySpace, but I can't access MySpace
oh, yeah. MySpace is kind of not a thing anymore, right?
because I don't know my password. But I miss having your top five. Remember your top five?
Oh gosh. Yeah,
Like
I
your
was
top
never a MySpace girl. I started right with Facebook and stuck with that.
Yeah, I took a while to go into Facebook, but yeah, MySpace gave you like a top five, and then you could design your own page. So of course you could have your picture on it or sangria on it, and then you could put music on your page so it
Oh,
looked
wow.
like this whole presentation every time you loaded the page.
Wow. So it was kind of like your personality showing on your
Absolutely.
Wow, that sounds kind of cool.
Yeah. And then you chose your top five instead of Facebook choosing your top
Oh
five.
yeah. Wow. Yeah, that sounds better.
It's different, but yeah, I can't access that, but I think there are some photos in there.
Okay. Darn. Yeah, I would
I know.
share those, but that sounds fun though. Yeah, and just to have a party, just to have a party.
Yep, just because it was
Why
Friday.
not? Why not?
Why not?
Is exactly. Okay, so is there anything that I have not asked you that you would love to share?
I don't think so. Um, just go out there and
What
do it.
yeah, exactly. Let's do
Go out
that.
there and do it. Whatever it
What
is, let's do it.
exactly, whatever you've been having, whatever dream you have, if you've got even a little spark, go chase it. Go see what it's about. You'll never know if it's for you or not if you don't try it.
Absolutely.
Wonderful. Oh, Tiana, this has been so fun.
Oh, me too. Thank you. This is awesome.
Thank you. Yeah, it was great chatting with you. And I'll excuse me, I'll put all these links and stuff in my show notes so that people can find you and check it out and look for your events and just
I
take a
love that.
look and yeah, try it for yourself and see if you like it.
Yeah. We're always happy around here. So if you want to see some happy posts, I can do it for you.
That was what okay, so that was what my friend who invited me to your event said, even if you don't like ballroom dancing, these people are these are the happiest people I've ever met.
Maybe like I say we're in our own Disney world constantly. Like we are in our own Disneyland. Like when the pandemic was happening, we had no clue because we were in our own bubble.
You
I mean,
had
of course we do, but you just kind of block everything out.
your tribe.
You're not thinking about the laundry, the groceries, the this, the that, because
Mm-hmm.
you're so in this world of music and dance and movement and passing energies back and forth to each other. So
Wow.
you just you don't
Yeah.
know what's going on. Sometimes it's
Good
just
energy. Yeah.
great.
Wonderful. What? Yeah. All good vibes all around.
All the time.
Oh, I love it. Oh, thank you so much, Tiana.
No,
This was
thank you.
fabulous.
Thank you. I love it.
Well, have a great rest of your day.
You too.
All right.
Bye.
Bye. That's a wrap on this episode of Penny for Your Shots. If you loved today's conversation, don't let the inspiration stop here. Get my weekly insider updates straight to your inbox. It's where I spill behind the scenes goodies, exclusive tips, and all the fun stuff I don't always share on the podcast. Sign up now at pennyforyourshots.com/insider. I'll see you in your inbox next Thirsty Thursday. Cheers!